Welcome back to the channel where we discuss the creative uses of AI. The other day I shared a video introducing you to OpenArts' exciting new story platform. And when I say exciting, that is not hyperbole. I love this feature. It's one of my favorite new features they've had in a long time because if you've got a creative idea, it is just seconds away from being put into motion, mostly automatically. I shared in that video that there are three major categories of videos that we're creating here. The character vlog, which we're going to focus on today, the music video, which I focused on in the last video, and then the explainer video, which will be the next video, and then we'll have a fourth video in the series that's kind of a play session with all of these tools at OpenArt that allows us to create the best one of these possible, and we'll really dig into their editor feature, which I will show you from time to time in this video. Before we dig into the character vlog, I just want to share a quick tip that I learned about the music lip sync feature in the music video function that I believe will help you better get the look you want. To quickly recap, you either paste a link to an audio that you've created at Suno, or you upload an audio file. You choose, in this case, the sing feature, and then you would choose a character and click create story. And based on the character and the song, create a video for you. I created a short little song that was cat-centric about squishing kitties so they wouldn't run away from you when you wanted to love on them. And I used this AI Tracy picture as the character, and I got this video.
Squish, 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 squish the kitty. Squish her till she sits down. Squish, 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 squish the kitty.
I'm going to stop it right there because my point was it was a cat-centric song and there were no cats in there. So I decided to recreate the image of Tracy, and I did a few with her actually holding a cat. So I ended up using this as the character image with her holding cats, and then this is the resulting video.
Squish, 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 squish the kitty. Squish her till she sits down. Squish, 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 squish the kitty. Squish her even though she may frown. 'Cause if you don't squish her, she'll just run away, and you may not see her for the rest of the day. So you've got to squish the kitty. Squish, 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 squish. I've changed the song a good bit.
Okay, so that was a bit of a sidetrack, but I just wanted to share that little tip with you if you had watched the last video and were playing with it and maybe had a similar issue with the video not really being related too much to the song that you were creating. Okay, now let's get into the character vlog. This one is a ton of fun because you can put any character you can imagine or create into any sort of story scenario that you'd like. And if you don't have the details of the story, it's okay because the AI will fill in some great details for you. It works like this. You just choose the character you want to create. You again have access to any character that you've created here in the platform, or just any image that you want to upload. In this case, let's go ahead and choose this character that I created in the platform. His name is Fatootie. It starts to fill in the prompt here, and now we can just make up any story we want and add as many details, including the changing of scenes, and that's one of the things that's so great. So let's put him on a little adventure. Fatootie wakes up late and hurries to get ready for work. He jumps on his skateboard and races down the road, waving to people he passes as he pulls up to his job at the gas station. Sure. He sees a sign on the door, this is getting industrious here, that says closed Saturdays. And I'm going to reference him again just by clicking the @ sign there, begins to laugh. So that'll be the story. I'm going to choose the 16:9 aspect ratio because I'm a cinematic kind of guy. Your advanced settings here allow you to choose the animation model you want. We're going to go ahead and click with the Kling 2.1 standard. It actually does a pretty good job. You can also choose your image model here, but in this case we are using a character built in the system, so we want to stick with that character model. So we'll just click on generate story and we wait a few minutes. It says the wait time is 3 minutes, and sometimes it is and sometimes it's just a little longer. If you think about what's going on back there, it's generating a ton of videos, it's generating the audio, and it's stitching it all together. Skateboard. So the sign didn't actually say closed Saturday, but if I wanted to, I could get into the editor and then redo that image so that we get the spelling correct. And by the way, if I can't get the image I want generated inside the platform here, I can always upload one right here and just add an image from my hard drive. Or if I jump out of this story maker and go into their normal creation tools, then I can work on my image, which I do very often, and then bring it in and use that as the starting image. Let me just share a few examples of what the character vlog was able to do with the prompts that I gave it. So in this case, I chose this character here, kind of a face with big eyes. And I will say right up front that the consistency of this particular character throughout, it did change a good bit. But the prompt was the marker, which is how they refer to the character or the image that you've chosen, is going to work by riding his bike to, I have this thing about going to work, is going to work by riding his bike to the subway station, riding the subway to the train station, then taking the train to an office building where he enters and sits at his desk. So that's a lot of instruction and just one prompt. And I entered that, and a few minutes later, I had this. So you'll notice there is no voiceover in these stories. The story is told through the images and the animation. But of course, what you've created here are some video elements that you could always put voiceover on later. Because they have the editor, you can actually change the music, you can rearrange everything, shorten the clips, and change them out completely and change anything you don't like. But you'll notice that it did go through all the different scenarios that I asked it to, even though it did change his appearance a fair amount throughout this process, including turning him into a real boy. It's a Pinocchio story, ladies and gentlemen. For this one, we used our Tess character here, and it was Tess goes through several interviews before she gets her job at the ice cream shop. That's all the detail I provided. So while, of course, it is not Hollywood perfect, this did a fantastic job of, with one click, telling the story that I asked it to tell and using some creativity along the way and definitely keeping that character consistent throughout. This is another character that we created here in the OpenArts platform, and this character gets evicted from his nice home in the forest due to a technical error and is forced to live in a wet cave with spiders until he is rescued by a duck. So I love throwing these abstract story ideas and saying, how are they going to throw this together in a half a minute or whatever? Wet cave, spiders. There's the duck coming to the rescue. So you're not going to be producing long-form cinematic masterpieces with this, but this is great for faceless social media, other user-generated content. If you have a bunch of weird stories you want to tell and you use this tool, and it's basically automatically generated for you. And if you want to make any changes, you can click on Edit the Story, and it will bring you into a timeline where you have the ability to change the length of these clips so that you can line it up to musical hits, which I enjoy doing, or moving them around to change the order of things if that is appropriate. If I wanted, for example, to maybe do another try on this eviction notice because it says evitice instead of eviction or whatever it's supposed to say, I could go back and try and regenerate the still image. And the original prompt is here. Close-up crumpled eviction notice plastered to the wall. It doesn't even say anything really about the word eviction. I'll just say that says eviction in big red letters. And I'll retry that image and really, really hope it spells eviction right. That would be so cool for me. There we go. Now we've got it saying eviction correctly. And now that image is replaced there. And now we just need to generate a video for it. So with it selected, we can just go over here to video. And it says already slow zoom in on the eviction notice pinned to the door. So we just click on retry video there. It'll take a minute or two to generate that. And now we have an updated clip with the proper spelling. While that's generating, I will point you to this list view option up here. So if you don't want to see it in the timeline view for whatever reason, the list view shows you side by side the images, the prompts for the images, and then the animation that was made from those images. You have the ability to edit and retry all of these here. It's just another interface for you to be able to do it. I prefer working in the timeline so I can see what I'm doing and how everything is timing out. And then here's the updated video. Slow zoom in, just like we said. So now when we download this video, it will have the updated clip with the proper spelling. This time I used me as a character, and I take tennis lessons from Bigfoot at various historic locations around the world, like Hoover Dam, Mount Rushmore, and Stone Mountain, Georgia, where I'm from. Okay, so Bigfoot changed from being Bigfoot into a chimpanzee, and my face changed every now and again. But to me, something like this is a lot of fun, and the fact that it's not perfect just adds to the humor of it. So it really just depends on your sense of humor and what you want to put out there. For me and my personality and my sensibilities, the more twisted and weird it is, the better. For this, we used Amber as the character, and the prompt was she is dressing her pets for Halloween. This is something that actually happens. The orange tabby is dressed in black and white prison stripes. The gray tabby kitten is dressed in prison orange, and the small black terrier dog is dressed as a policeman. She was brainstorming Halloween costume ideas for the pets the other day, and I'm sitting there furiously typing this with my thumb to get this. I don't know who those dogs are, but that was amazing adherence to the prompt. With no edits, one take, and just a few minutes. So I didn't have to generate the clips separately or download them separately or put them in another editing program or choose the music or do anything. It happened automatically. Okay, we used an image of Tracy for this one, and she is enjoying her first day on the job as a kitten inspector, where she goes from store to store, checking kittens for cuteness, playfulness, and affection. And the story ends with her adopting 12 kittens. So let's see what it did with that. Ooh, AI kittens. I don't know what that move was for. You can see that they've changed her face a good bit throughout this process. I would probably go back and regenerate some of the key frames there where she absolutely didn't look like her. But it did a great job of matching the general tone I was looking for and, of course, the look. This is just a picture I took on the couch right after I did the dog costume thing. I do a lot of stuff sitting around on the couch. It's amazing what you can do just on your phone. I'm visiting an art museum, going from room to room, spraying paint on all the great works like Mona Lisa, Starry Night, etc. At the end, he is ushered out by security officers. Let me just jump in and comment on that backwards walking thing. If you've done a lot of AI video, you've seen this over and over. In some cases, it's fine to be able to just download the clip and put it in reverse. In this case, I might go in and try a different video model and see if I can get it going forward, but let's go ahead and finish this out. So there, me and somebody. Now, I do not have the bald spot back there. I don't know where it got this idea. I can prove it to you. But again, good adherence to the prompt. It certainly got the spirit of what I was doing. And here come the cops. Oh, ow, oh, hey, oh, let's go. Okay, and I'm just going to walk backwards out of here. So that's fun. Let's see what we can do about this backwards walking. Edit the story. Here we are on that clip. The still image is fine. I just want the video to be different. I don't have the ability to choose my video model from this page here, but if I go to list view down here, I can choose whatever I want. I'll just go Kling 2.1 Pro and just click on retry video here. Same exact prompt, same starting image, and see if we can get a better video where I'm walking forward. Although now that I'm looking at this image, if I want him to walk into the museum, he's just facing the wrong way. So unless this video makes him turn and walk into the museum, I may still have an issue. Well, in this version, I just walk off the screen. At least I'm walking forwards, but I'm not walking up into the museum. I'm not sure which one I want to use. Of the two, if I wasn't going to generate any more, I'd probably use this one since I am walking forward. Honestly, I think that the problem is with the image. We've got a wide establishing shot of the grand stone facade of an art museum at mid-morning, soft sunlight. Da-da-da. Bob, a photorealistic middle-aged man, ascends the steps holding a spray can, okay? But I'm not ascending the steps. Let's just retry this image and just see if I get something a little bit different. Not really. So how about this? I'll use this new one since we took the time to generate it. I'll change the prompt and I'll say camera tracks man who turns toward the museum entrance and walks up the steps. I'm going to go back to the Kling standard model just so it'll be faster. All right, he turns and he enters the building. Thank you, Kling standard. Let's go back over here to the timeline view. We'll click on this clip here. We'll choose this new one, and then we're good to go. Okay, this is the starting image that I created by using a Snapchat filter to get this distorted face, and then just bring it into OpenArt and using context to have that face be on a guy who was dressed in this suit and unhappy with his plate of peas. Then the story was he is a grumpy food critic going from restaurant to restaurant, and every restaurant has a different anthropomorphic animal as a server. And that's all I gave it. More backward walking. Interesting technique. But we've got our anthropomorphic waitstaff. A good bite of the hamburger with peas in it is disgusting. We've got a fox server. What does the fox say? Thumbs down. He's a grumpy food critic. All of those examples I showed you were done with the simplest of prompts and just a splash of an idea, create a character, grab an image, and then in a few minutes you've got this fun little video. And what if you put time into it? What if you really crafted a nice little story? And if things aren't exactly like you like them, that editor actually gives you a lot more flexibility than I've shown you, and we will be featuring that in the last episode of this series. If this is the type of tool and fun toy you like to learn about, well, why not subscribe to this channel? Because this is stuff we play with all the time.
If you subscribe now, I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you. And I